Scorpio, this sign invariably raises questions. Mysterious, mystical, sometimes frightening. Why? Why is it so often perceived as strange? Perhaps because the world in which Scorpio lives is not always visible to others. He is not someone who openly shares his thoughts. He is hidden behind the veil of his own experiences, behind the very deep emotions that are so often hidden from other people's eyes. So why do we so often confuse it with something mystical? It's not magic, it's not superpowers, it's just Scorpio. But what do we really know about him? Few people realize how multi-layered his personality is. Instead of really getting to know him, people often create stereotypes about him. They say, he's aggressive, vindictive, secretive. But this is only a small part of his true nature. It's actually much deeper than that. Have you ever wondered why Scorpios seem so unpredictable? Why their reactions are sometimes surprising and their feelings remain unclear to others? It's not because they want to be complicated, it's just that they live at a different pace. They perceive the world differently, and perhaps that's why they are often misunderstood. Let's ask ourselves, what if all this weirdness is just a reflection that we don't understand the depth of their character? Reason 1, deep emotions and inner worlds. Scorpio is not someone who perceives the world superficially. He lives a deeper life. Much deeper. And his emotions, so extraordinary, are almost always hidden from view. Why? Because he doesn't want anyone to feel the weight of what he's going through. Outwardly, he may be calm, even cold. But inside, there's a storm inside. This sign is not afraid to explore the darkest corners of the human soul, and he is ready to meet his own demons face to face. Scorpios can tolerate worry, but they don't show it. Why? Because they know how to hide their feelings. They may seem incomprehensible, closed off, but it's not because they want to remain a mystery. It's just a defense. A protective wall that hides their true depths. They prefer silence when the world is not ready to understand their pains and experiences. Example, intense experiences such as loss or betrayal can leave a lifelong mark. But while everyone around them discusses it superficially, the Scorpio lives these events more deeply than anyone can imagine. These emotions cannot be understood on the level of mundane conversations. And that's what makes it so weird. Reason 2, intuition and the ability to read people. Have you ever felt like someone understands you on a level that's just plain scary? That's exactly how Scorpio intuition works. It's almost supernatural. He has the ability to read people like an open book. You say one thing, but he can see your lies. You hide your feelings, but he understands them down to the smallest detail. And that's scary. Why is that? Because Scorpio always knows. He can sense exactly what's going on inside others. He doesn't just listen to your words, he reads your soul. You may not want him to know it. But he'll feel it anyway. Are you hiding something? Scorpius will see it anyway. His perceptiveness is staggering. Example, trying to deceive Scorpio is like trying to hide the light from the sun. He'll just sense your lies. And that's scary because you realize, you can't be a hypocrite with him. He won't give you that chance. Reason 3, seeking control. He can't relax. He can't trust circumstances. A Scorpio is someone who wants to be in control of his life. Everything. Everyone. Why? Because control is a way to avoid pain. It's a way to avoid disappointment. Scorpio is afraid of being hurt, so he tries to keep everything under control. You might think, but why do you worry so much? Why can't you just relax? The answer is simple, it's not easy for Scorpio. His inner world is so intense that he can't afford to lose control, he's too afraid of the consequences. To lose means suffering. And he doesn't want that. Example, imagine that Scorpio sees a threat, a betrayal, for example. He'll start to control the situation, control what you say, where you've been, who you've been socializing with. It's not because he wants to control you. It's because he can't allow himself to become vulnerable. His inner world can't handle the pain of loss. Reason 4, a complicated relationship with trust. Trust isn't just a word for Scorpio. It's cosmic matter. Very valuable. And that's why he doesn't just give it away. He'll shut himself off from the world because he can't afford to be hurt. He won't tell you what's on his mind unless he's sure of your loyalty. It's a matter of life and death for him. But here's the paradox. When Scorpio trusts, he trusts completely. And his affection becomes unbelievable. It's a love that's stronger than anything you've ever experienced. But, it's worth it to him to feel that he's not trusted, or that he's been betrayed, and that's it. The wall is up. Once again, cosmic distance. Example, building a relationship with a Scorpio is not easy. You have to be tested. You have to prove that you deserve his trust. But when he opens up, you'll feel how powerfully he believes in you. And it's not just emotion. It's his life, his soul. Reason 5, stubbornness and determination. When a Scorpio decides something, that's it. You can't change his mind. He may seem stubborn, but it's not just instinct, it's confidence that he's on the right track. When he makes a decision, he already knows that this is his right path, and nothing and no one can stop him. If he has chosen, then he believes in it. Example, even if everyone around him says it's a mistake, Scorpio will stand his ground. You can try to convince him, but he'll be solid as a rock. Because even if the decision seems wrong to others, to him it's absolutely right. Reason 6, need for transformation and change. Scorpio doesn't sit still. He is always on the lookout. Searching for meaning. A search for change. Searching for transformation. Anything stable scares him. He can't stand in one place because his soul demands change. Change in life, in himself, in other people. He's not afraid of change. He seeks them like air. And if his environment is too calm, he will start looking for ways to change. Example, Scorpio cannot stay in one state for long. He will change his life, his environment, his job, his relationships. It's part of his nature. And sometimes it may seem unstable. But to him, it's not chaos. It's a necessity. Reason 7, secret interests and hidden hobbies. What is Scorpio hiding? Something important. He doesn't reveal all his cards at once. Why? Because his interests, hobbies, and aspirations are his private world that he's not ready to show to everyone. He may be passionate about something unusual, strange, something that can make other people freeze in bewilderment. Secret interests are not just a hobby for him. It could be a spiritual quest, a study of the occult sciences, or maybe something else that is beyond ordinary understanding. He doesn't share it because for him it's not just a hobby, it's part of his deep inner world. And in that world, he doesn't need to explain his ardor to others. What matters is what he feels himself. This is his world. Example, Scorpio may hide his fascination with astrology, mysticism, or psychology. He can immerse himself in these topics for hours and no one will know about it. This is his personal space, where no one is allowed. And if you accidentally let him in there, you'll realize how much he hides behind his outer reticence. It's okay for him, but not for everyone around him. Reason 8, silent leadership. Scorpio won't yell, he won't demand attention. He is not a leader of words, but a leader of actions. All he needs to do is act. He won't stand on a pedestal and wait for recognition. He will simply lead, he will simply do. And that's what earns him respect. This is leadership that requires no outward demonstration. His confidence is calm, quiet, but unwavering. He may look like a silent observer, but he actually sees and feels everything that is going on around him. And when it's time to act, he will be the tipping point that changes everything. Example, at some point in a group, at work or in the family, Scorpio will suddenly show his power, but not with words, with actions. He will show how to act, and no one will be able to ignore his influence. It will not be a screaming, "I'm a leader." It will be a real power that is impossible not to admire. Reason 9, high demands on himself and those around him. Scorpio does not tolerate mediocrity. He himself requires constant improvement from himself and craves the same from everyone around him. For him, life is not a place to be patient. He will work to the last to achieve a goal, and expects the same from others. Anything that doesn't meet his high standard is not for him. And there is no room for concessions. He is not accustomed to accepting shortcomings, his own or others. It's not cruelty, it's a principle. For him, it is important that everything be done as best as possible, that every moment be filled with maximum dedication. And when someone cannot meet these requirements, he cannot hide his disappointment. Example, a Scorpio may expect his partner or mate not only to be emotionally intimate, but also to achieve common goals. If someone doesn't meet his expectations, he will look for another person who can keep up with him. He is not afraid to be demanding. On the contrary, it's his way of showing respect, both for himself and others. Reason 10, willpower and coping skills. Have you ever seen a person who, after any blow, just gets up and moves on? Well, that's about Scorpio. His willpower isn't just determination, it's an unwavering belief in himself. He may be overwhelmed, he may go through hardships, but he will never let those hardships break him. Pain is not his weakness. It is his path to transformation. Scorpio is not someone who gives up. He will not complain about his fate. He will fight to the end, and he may even come out of the situation stronger than he was. He may be tough on himself and others, but that's because he knows that only through overcoming pain can true strength be achieved. Example, when Scorpio faces hardship, whether it be loss, disappointment, or setbacks, he doesn't sit around and cry. He seeks a solution, takes the blows, but never forgets his inner strength. This is not just survival. It's survival with dignity. Do you want to understand Scorpio better? Want to connect with him but don't know where to start? Here are some guidelines. 1. Be honest. Scorpio appreciates sincerity. He will sense falseness from a mile away, and it will disappoint him. Be open with him, and he will open up to you in return. 2. Don't try to control. He may be bossy, but that doesn't mean he wants to control others. Let him be himself and he will appreciate it. 3. Take your time. Scorpios don't open up right away. They need time to trust. Don't pressure them, give them space and they will make a move towards you on their own. 4. Support his desire for change. Scorpio is always on the lookout for new opportunities, and if you're willing to walk with him on that quest, his trust will be yours. 5. Understand his need for control. He doesn't control for nothing, it's his way of protecting himself. If you realize this, he'll become less closed off and be able to trust you. Try applying these tips, and maybe you can see Scorpio as not just a zodiac sign, but a unique person with a rich and deep inner world. So, we've come to the bottom line. So why can Scorpio seem strange? It's all about the fact that his world is a world of depths, emotions, secret searches and endless transformations. He hides his true nature from prying eyes, because he is not ready to share all this with everyone he meets. That is why his behavior can seem unpredictable, sometimes even frightening. But in reality, it's just a misunderstanding. This is a misunderstood personality that lives deeper than most of us can imagine. Scorpio is not someone who will always be open or understanding. He won't show his soul to everyone. But if you manage to peek into his inner world, you will see how much is hiding there. His weirdness is just his way of protecting himself and surviving in this complex world. He is not trying to be alien, he is just incomprehensible because he requires deep perception. You shouldn't judge him by his outward appearances. Look deeper, and you will discover a world of incredible strength, passion and devotion. Are you ready to see the real Scorpio? Accept him for who he is and you'll see how rich and layered his inner world is.